SCP-6033 The Friend with Many Arms. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-6033 is currently cleared for nightly usage by Toby McAnderson between the hours of 1900 and 2100. One Foundation agent must be posted in his bedroom while SCP-6033 is in use. When not in use, SCP-6033 is to remain stored in Site-96's high-security item storage. Description: SCP-6033 is a children's book titled The Friend with Many Arms, with no known author or publisher. The book is illustrated in a style similar to non-anomalous children's literature, and written in the style of books aimed at children aged 3 to 5 years old. The story contents of the book contain a mild cognitohazard that results in migraines upon initial reading, but are otherwise harmless. The book depicts the story of a formless entity named Ud-Itla as they wander the cosmos searching for a friend. SCP-6033's anomalous abilities manifest when the story is read by Toby McAnderson. When he opens the book, a large formless entity identical to the one depicted in the book will manifest within 10 meters of him. SCP-6033-1 will then proceed to engage McAnderson in friendly conversation, typically finishing its interaction with him by reading him to sleep. SCP-6033-1 will demanifest once McAnderson has fallen asleep. SCP-6033-1 displays a range of anomalous abilities involving shapeshifting, teleportation, and telekinesis. Viewing SCP-6033-1 directly also results in a mild cognitohazardous effect, causing migraines in the viewer similar to those caused by SCP-6033. Both SCP-6033 and SCP-6033-1's cognitohazardous effects rapidly diminish with regular exposure. Addendum: 6033-1 Discovery: SCP-6033 was discovered in the possession of then 4-year-old Toby McAnderson. McAnderson had been reported to local police by his grandmother as missing. Foundation agent Basil Sias became involved when reports of McAnderson being sighted alongside a massive unidentified entity came to the Foundation's attention. Due to initial reports of those having seen the entity claiming that it was difficult to perceive, and visual contact resulted in migraines, Agent Sias was deployed with anti-cognitohazard gear. The entity was not present upon initial contact, and McAnderson and SCP-6033 were retrieved without incident. The local population was successfully amnesticized, and there have been no reports of lasting mental, emotional, or psychological damage. Due to initial assumptions that McAnderson had anomalous capabilities, they were originally given the classification of SCP-6033 and placed under strict containment procedures. Due to rapidly declining mental health and a lack of SCP-6033-1 manifestations, McAnderson's containment procedures were reviewed and the anomalous capabilities of SCP-6033 were discerned. McAnderson was transferred to a low-risk humanoid containment cell and permitted nightly access to SCP-6033. Addendum: 6033-2 Interview with Toby McAnderson. Interviewed: Toby McAnderson. Interviewer: Agent Basil Sias. Forward: the following interview was conducted at the request of the Department of Sciences as part of a review of Toby McAnderson's containment procedures. As Agent Sias had conducted the past 4 interviews with Toby and established a positive rapport with the child, he was assigned to conduct the interview on the Department of Science's behalf. Begin log. Agent Sias: Hey there, Toby. How are you doing tonight, buddy? McAnderson: I'm okay, Mr. Sias. You don't look okay. You look kinda sad to me. Is something wrong? McAnderson looks down towards his lap and fiddles with his hands. You can tell me anything, bud. You won't be in trouble, I promise. You know what? We can pinky promise on it. Agent Sias holds out his little finger to McAnderson. Toby seems hesitant at first, but then hooks his own finger with Agent Sias. The two shake, and McAnderson appears to relax somewhat. I'm a little sad. Why's that? Did something happen? McAnderson shakes his head. I haven't been able to see my friend. Really now? Who's your friend? Oodala. And what did this Oodala look like? We might be able to find them and let them come visit. Oodala is big and squishy. It hurts to look at them sometimes, but they're not scary. They have lots of arms and they're very nice. We can't find them though. They live in my book and someone took my book away from me. McAnderson sniffles. He does? Now you're being silly. People can't live in books. McAnderson sniffles again, then giggles. Yes, they can. Oodala lives in my book. They come out and talk to me and read me stories at night. Do they now? What kinds of things do you two talk about? McAnderson tenses up again and begins fiddling with his hands once again. It's okay, Toby. We pinky promised, remember? You can tell me anything. We talk about my mommy and daddy. They're with the universe now. With the universe now? That's what Oodala said. They said they spoke to mommy and daddy, and that's what they said. Oodala sounds very nice. Can I meet them? Yeah, you just gotta open the book and we can meet them. End log. Following this interview, Agent Sias and Toby McAnderson opened SCP-6033, resulting in an SCP-6033-1 manifestation. Despite initial concerns, SCP-6033-1 was cordial and polite with Foundation personnel. Following a discussion between personnel assigned to SCP-6033, SCP-6033-1, and the Department of Sciences, SCP-6033's new containment procedures were agreed upon. Addendum 6033-3 Observation Log. Subjects: SCP-6033-1 Toby McAnderson. Date: January 13th, 2021. Forward. Following revised containment procedures, Toby McAnderson was given a standard humanoid containment chamber furnished to resemble a child's room. McAnderson was given permission to request any alterations within reason. The room was equipped to allow Foundation personnel to continue monitoring McAnderson and SCP-6033-1 as needed. The following is an interview log recorded as interaction between SCP-6033-1 and McAnderson approximately 2 weeks following these changes. Begin log. Agent Sias arrives at McAnderson's room with SCP-6033. McAnderson looks up from blocks he has been playing with and runs over to Agent Sias. He takes the book and opens it, with SCP-6033-1 manifesting as expected. The entity glances towards Agent Sias and towards the observation window. McAnderson. Oodala! McAnderson attempts to hug SCP-6033-1 and then proceeds to bring various toys over to the entity. What do you want to play tonight? We could play, Pokemon? Oh, or maybe Spider-Man. SCP-6033-1. Actually, Toby, how about we just read a story tonight? But I'm not sleepy yet. I know. Promise I'll make it extra special, okay? I finished writing that special story for you. Go, get ready for bed, and we can get started. McAnderson perks up and runs off to their privacy area. SCP-6033-1 undulates towards the bed, several eyes fixed on the observation window. Anderson returns a few minutes later and climbs into the bed. Did you brush your teeth and wash your face? Uh-huh. Good. Now then, let's get started. SCP-6033-1 extends a tentacle towards the bedside table and picks up SCP-6033. It opens the book and begins reading. It waves various tentacles over the book's pages. As it does, the various glow-in-the-dark star stickers affixed to the bedroom ceiling descend and float in the air around the bed. Once upon a time, there was a lonely, cognito-hazard redacted, named Uditala. An image of the entity from SCP-6033 constructed from dust floats from the page and hovers in the center of the room. The room goes dark with only this figure, SCP-6033-1, and McAnderson remaining visible. They look lonely. That's right, Toby. They were very lonely. They were born a very, very long time ago. before even the oldest star. SCP-6033-1 waves its tentacle over the plastic star stickers. Several of them begin to glow and gather together over the figure, forming a single, large star. The figure looks up towards the star. "Will you be my friend?" Uditala asked the star. "I cannot," the star replied, "for I might accidentally burn you up." Uditala was sad, but they understood. Maybe I'll never find a friend, they thought. The figure appears to fall over and begins to cry. Meanwhile, the star above grows larger before collapsing in on itself, forming a massive ball of darkness in the star's projection around the room. The figure appears startled and looks up at the new formation. "Who are you?" Uditala asked. "Will you be my friend?" "I cannot," the black hole replied, "for I might accidentally eat you up." Uditala is sad once again. The figure collapses over once more. SCP-6033-1 begins moving its tentacles in circular motions, and the stars in the room begin to move. The room is slowly filled with what appears to be various nebulae and other cosmic bodies created by arts and crafts supplies from McAnderson's room. Several stars blink in and out over the course of several minutes, until a blue marble appears. The figure lifts an approximation of a head and undulates towards the marble. Eventually, Uditala comes across a little blue planet. Several crude representations of smiling human faces manifest across SCP-6033-1's body. Uditala was surprised. They had never seen something like this before. It wasn't large like a star, and it wasn't hungry like a black hole. "Who are you?" they asked. "Will you be my friend?" The planet, however, didn't respond to them. A framed photograph of Mr. and Mrs. McAnderson floats over towards the figure. Several stars attach themselves to the frame. The universe itself saw Uditala, though, and responded. The figure looks towards the photo. The universe said, "What is wrong, Uditala?" "I have no one to call my friend," Uditala responded. The universe looked at Uditala with pity. Several more stars wrapped themselves around the figure. "No one deserves to be alone," the universe said, embracing Uditala. "Down there is a place called Earth, and on that planet is a little boy that is very dear to us. He's very lonely, just like you, and he needs a friend as well. Find him, and take care of him for us." McAnderson appears to have fallen asleep. SCP-6033-1 produces several tentacles and carefully tucks him in. Uditala knew what to do. He began working on a special book, and sent it down to Earth where Toby would find it. As long as Toby had that book, the two would always be together. They quickly became the best of friends, and were never lonely again. The universe itself had brought them together. Several of SCP-6033-1's eyes fixate on the observation window. They're in a special place right now. It can be a little cold sometimes, and even a little scary, but there's lots of people there that will always take care of them both and keep them safe. No matter what, Uditala and Toby will always have each other, and maybe even someday, they'll be able to see the world together. Together, they'll live happily ever after. SCP-6033-1 closes the book and places it on McAnderson's bedside table. A mouth appears on SCP-6033-1's body and gives McAnderson a kiss on the forehead. SCP-6033-1 glances towards the observation window once again before demanifesting. End log. Request to grant Toby McAnderson permanent access to SCP-6033 is pending approval. Thank you for listening to SCP-6033. If you enjoyed this SCP, please follow the link in the description to the SCP Wiki and vote it up to support it and the SCP Wiki as a whole. Also, if you have any SCPs you'd like for me to do, please leave a comment and I'll see what I can do.